In this video, you learn how to play and create guitar solos by ear. Creating really cool guitar solos is not as hard as it seems once you know how to develop your ear pretty quickly. In fact is, you probably already have the raw skills to do this, you just might not have totally developed them yet. So today I want to help you do that, and I'll show you how in just a minute. The key to developing your ear is training. But most people find ear training to be pretty boring, so they don't do it. I'm going to show you a fun way that you can do this so that you can begin creating your own guitar solos by ear right away. Now, I've taught this stuff to thousands of people around the world, and today it's your turn. What I'm going to do here is play for you a backing track. The chords are E, A, and B. They're not necessarily played in that order. The three chords are in the key of E major, so that's what we're going to be using. I'm going to give you basically a two-note phrase to start with. So I'm going to give you the first note to play, and you'll see it in example 1. It's the 19th fret of the second string, and we're going to play that note. We're going to bend up a whole step, and then we're going to sustain the note, and then when we release that bend, it's your job to then find the second note that you think sounds best to you by ear, okay? So here's what not to do. Don't be thinking about music theory-wise what chord is being played at the time, and then what are the notes in that chord, and where are those notes on the guitar. That is a valid way to approach this, but that's not what we're doing today in this video. So instead, I want you just to be listening. Forget about what the chord is. I mean, listen to the chord, but don't be trying to analyze and think, okay, this is the B chord. What notes can I play over the B chord? Don't be thinking about that stuff right now. All right, so now let's hear the backing track, and we'll try this phrase. I'm going to finish our two-note phrase off on a note that I think sounds good at the time, depending on what chord is being played. All right, so you can try this with your guitar as well. So I chose that note for that chord. Maybe you chose that note, maybe you would choose a different one. Let's hear how it sounds here. Here I did not release the bend because I like the note. That G sharp note sounded good to me. Over that chord, the F sharp note sounded best to me. You may have a different opinion, and that's okay. So the goal here again is to play the phrase, play the bend, and then just by ear, find the right note, the note that sounds the best to you, and then execute it on the guitar. So we're doing the same thing for all these chords. Cool, so those are the choices that I made. You might make a different choice, and that's okay, but the point is to play slow like I'm doing here, and then just find those final notes. And this is really going to help your ear to develop because you're training it. All right, now let's take a look at example number 2. The idea is the same. We're still at the 19th fret. We're just moving over from the second string to the first string, but of course now we've got a new set of notes. So when you play the bend and you release it, of course, we're on a B note now instead of an F sharp or whatever else. You can have that as your last note. You can have that as your last note, or you don't have to release the bend. It can still stay up in the air, and then you've got the C sharp note. So cool, let's hear this again with the backing track, and let's see what this sounds like over the chords. Cool. So the main thing here is that you're using your ear to find the right note. I mean, what we don't want to do is we don't want to fish for the right note, meaning we don't want to play and then do this and say, oh, that note wasn't the best, so then we move off it. We want to try and predict what the right note is without having to correct, okay? So we don't want to do this. Oh, that wasn't so good. Oh, that's better. We want to try and avoid that. So we just get there directly if that's a note you wanted to play. We don't want to have to do that sort of a thing if we can avoid it. So that's what we're trying to train to do, so that the very first time you play the note, it sounds awesome because you know you can feel where the right note is. Now, example number 3, we're going to combine examples 1 and 2 together, but we're going to do them consecutively. So we'll play on the second string. And then here you've got 2 notes that you've got to find that are going to sound good. Now, of course, each phrase will be on a different chord. So you'll hear that as we play the backing track now. You play phrase 1, the first 2 measures, and there will be a best note probably for that. And then when we go to the second phrase, same thing, but the chord is different. So here's what we got. You repeat it, the chords will be different. That's a B chord right there, so this note probably sounds better. All right, in example 4, we've got a new phrase. This is a 4-note phrase, and we're going to start by playing the B note here on the 3rd string. And then I'm going to slide up on the 2nd string from fret 7 to fret 9. You don't have to do a slide. You can do that if you want to. We're going to hold this note out. You can add vibrato there if you want to. And then we're going to look for the final note. Or whatever you want. Okay, so it's that last note we're trying to make sound really great depending upon the chord that's happening. And we want to not have to try to correct if the note wasn't the best choice. We want to just try and get there by feel. Okay, so let's hear the backing track and hear what this sounds like. You could also stay there if this note sounds good to you. Sounds really, really nice. So what we're doing there is we're just going by ear. We're not trying to make those corrections. And if you play a note and it's not the best, okay, you can make the correction while training, but remember the goal is to try and get it the first time. For example number 5, we're going to take our phrase that we had in example 4. We're going to move it over to the top 2 strings. It's basically the same idea. We have a new set of notes though. We'll start on fret 5. We're going to hold out this C sharp note, this 9th fret, and then you're going to find the final note, whichever one of those or any other note nearby sounds best to your ear. So let's hear that track again. Stay right there for that one. What note do you hear right now? How about now? Sing along with me. I'm not going to sing, but you're going to sing. Sing that note right there. What do you want to hear? What note do you want to hear right now? Sing. We're going to sing the last note to ourselves. So I'm not singing out loud, obviously. I'm not going to embarrass myself and then put this out for you all to laugh at. there would be plenty to laugh at, trust me. But what I'm doing here is I'm singing in my head, I'm singing in my mind. Okay, I'm not just letting my fingers play a note in the scale and hoping that it sounds good. Okay, so I sang all of that in my mind. That's how I'm finding these notes. Okay, I'm not just letting my hands just do whatever. And that's what I think you should do. So now let's talk about how do you practice this stuff. Okay, well, I just alluded to the big tip here, which was that the whole time when I'm playing, I am singing in my head what the phrase is. Okay, when you use your voice, even if you only do it internally and you don't actually have anything coming out of your mouth, you will never, ever imagine a note that's bad. Okay, so even if you're not a singer, you don't know how to sing, it doesn't matter. You won't imagine, unless you intentionally do so, you won't imagine a bad note. Okay, so when you use your voice, you're going to naturally find a good sounding note. This is how singers find great notes to sing. Okay, they're not thinking about music theory. Most singers don't know anything about chords or notes or music theory. Okay, but they do it naturally because they're singing, and you can do the same thing. Now the next question is, or the next challenge is, once you have the note in your head because you're singing it to yourself, is finding where it is on the guitar, matching what you hear in your head with what's in your hand. The good news is almost always what you're going to imagine is in the scale, it's in the key. It's probably in the chord, not necessarily, but often it is. Okay, so this is what we're training to do. Use your voice first, then match your hands to the voice by finding the notes. And you'll make mistakes sometimes in the beginning, that's okay. But the more you do it, the better you get. And the better you get at this, the better you'll get at creating or improvising anything. Songs, solos, melodies, harmonies, all of it. Now, what sort of other videos would you like me to make for you in the future? Let me know by leaving a comment below. I read every single comment, even the silly ones. So, if you like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you want to learn how to make any lick that you know sound even better, I'll show you how in my new free ebook titled The Secret to Adding Fire and Emotion to Any Guitar Lick. It's totally free. Click on the link below to download your copy and make every lick that you know sound even better.